So yeah, hello, I'm Jun from Moodle HQ. I'm a dev, and today I'd like to present a Moodle plugin that I developed. It's called Mod 360. It's a 360-degree feedback activity module for Moodle. So, who among you have heard about or participated in a 360-degree feedback activity? Awesome. Yeah. So I think a lot of us have heard about this at one point, especially in the workplace. It's very common in the workplace. And to those who might have not yet heard about it, a 360-degree feedback activity is a tool for reviewing the performance of a subject based on the feedback given by multiple persons. These persons can be, if you are a recipient of a feedback, these can be your manager, your supervisor, or your peers, your colleagues, or your staff, or even your customers. So, if done properly, a 360-degree feedback can help discover your strengths. Whoops. How do I? Yep. It can help discover your strengths and weaknesses, which can also help you map your personal development goals. So, hello. There. So I'd like to introduce my feedback, my plugin called Mod 360. So, have you guys heard about this Moodle plugin? Thanks, Mark. #1 fan. So yeah. So I'd like to share some fun facts about this plugin. This is actually my first Moodle plugin. In HQ, we use Moodle for some of our workplace-related matters, such as forums for posting team updates. We also use we also have courses for the induction of new employees. Then one time, our HR organized a 360-degree feedback activity, but they used a separate third-party tool. So I was kind of wondering, I think this can be implemented in Moodle easily. So back in 2015, this became my Project Week idea. So, yep. So speaking of Project Weeks, to those who might not have heard about it until now, developers in Moodle HQ we have Project Weeks. It's a week where we set aside our usual development tasks and just do whatever we want, but still Moodle-related stuff still. So then after Project Week, we do a show and tell of the projects that we worked on. So, and who among you guys are developers here? Cool. Yeah, aside from Moodle devs, do you guys think it's a pretty cool idea to have project weeks? Yeah, cool. So feel free to apply. We have openings right now. Yeah. But yeah, enough of that. Since this is since I was only able to work on this during project weeks, it took me quite a while to release it into the Moodle plugins DB. So I was only able to release this on the 19th of December, 2017. And the latest versions of this plugin support Moodle 3.5 and Moodle 3.4. They were actually just released last Friday, because while I was doing the screenshots for this presentation, I found some bugs. So, so I had to fix those, and then I also worked on some minor improvements. So instead of working on the presentation for about a couple of hours, it took me a couple of days. So thanks, Moodle Moot. So some stats. Since its release, it's been downloaded for about 500 times, and it's being used by 137 registered Moodle sites. I think it's pretty cool because it's being used worldwide. So yeah. So let's dive into it and see how this works and how this looks. So first, to set up an 360-degree activity in Moodle, as an editing teacher, you will have to add this into your course using the usual activity chooser. So here it will show up, and then simply select it and click on Add. Then you will see the usual, you can give it a name, a description. It might be a guide to your participants on how to fill out the activity, the feedback. You can also opt to set this as an anonymous activity. So it's more usual, I think. You can also enable self-review, so respondents can also have self-assessment. And you may opt to choose which types of users can respond to the feedback. So you can select all course participants, or you can select by role. For example, in this course, I chose the staff role, which is just a renamed student role. So after saving and displaying the feedback, it's not yet ready. We have to set it up first. So we have to set up the questionnaire. So to do this, we have to go to the 360-degree feedback items page. So here, this will be the display where the questions are listed. So we have to add questions first. So we can do this by picking a question from the question bank. Just a disclaimer, this is not tied to the question subsystem of Moodle. It's an internal question bank in the plugin. So the type of questions that can be added or created for the activity is there are two. The first one is the rated question type. It is defined on a scale. The values are from strongly disagree to strongly agree and not applicable. And the second type are comments, where the respondents can just enter their comments regarding the question about the subject. So going back to the earlier page, so when we click on the pick a question from the question bank, the question picker model is launched. So we can see it shows a table with the questions and a question type column. How do I? Okay. And then there are also some action buttons here. How do I? Anyway, where we can edit. You see the gear icon beside each question. There's a gear icon where you can edit the question, or a trash icon to delete the question. There's also an add button where you can add a new question if the question doesn't exist yet in the question bank. So to pick questions, just tick the check boxes that you want to add for your feedback, and then save the changes. After doing so, the questions will be now rendered in the feedback items page. So you can move these questions up and down using the icons over there. You can also delete the item if you change your mind. And yeah, so in this example, this is almost ready, but first, this cannot be accessed by your participants yet because you have to make it available. So clicking on make it available, your participants will now be ready to provide feedback to each other. So providing feedback, let's go to the perspective of the participant. So in this example, I log in as a staff named Marvin. So going to the 360-degree feedback view page, I can see the list of people that I can give feedback to, usually my classmates. Yeah, and let's say we want to provide a feedback for our fellow staff named Ms. Tan. So to do this, just click on the pencil icon on the actions column, and then we will get redirected to the questionnaire page. So you can see here that the rated questions are on the upper part of the page, so if you want to provide feedback on a rated question, just select the rating and click on it. Also, there are the comment questions at the bottom part. So beside this question, there's a text area where you can input your comment about Ms. Tan. Then to finally submit your feedback, we just click on submit. If you want to save your changes, you can click on save changes and then navigate away from the page, and then when you go back, your changes will be there waiting for you. But if you want to finalize your feedback, especially as you remember, we created an anonymous feedback. So if we click on submit, this will launch a confirmation model that's asking to finalize this feedback. If we do finalize the feedback, the anonymous feedback, our responses will be anonymized, so you won't be able to edit this anymore. So there are times that users can also opt to decline giving feedback for another user. So in this example, I haven't really worked well yet. I haven't really worked with my coworker named Manuel, because maybe he's new or something. So I can opt to decline giving feedback to him by clicking on the trash icon. So doing so will launch a decline feedback model. So there's also a text area in the model so that I can enter my reason why I won't be giving feedback to him. Then after doing so, just click on Save Changes. And then after that, you will see that the status for Manuel is now shown as declined. And on the status column, you can also see the other status, like pending, in progress, or completed. Yeah. So as an editing teacher in a course, you can also view the reports for the feedback given to your participants. So if you log in as the teacher, you can see the participants listed on the table, and then clicking on the magnifier icon, you will get redirected to the results page. So you can see here that the rated questions are on the upper part of the page, and then each questions, these are averaged values from the feedback given by Ms. Tan's peers. And then the comments are also rendered at the bottom part of the page. So the comments are grouped by question. So if this is not an anonymous feedback, you will see the name of the author who made that comment. Yep, so that's it basically. So for future development, I still need to add some standard Moodle features, such as backup and restore, event logging, better question bank management UX. I think because as you saw earlier, it's just on a model, and that this can go very big, can grow very big. So it might not become very manageable in the future if you have a lot of questions. So I think I'm planning on making that better. Also, I plan to add, I haven't mentioned in this slide, but I also plan to implement action events so that they can get rendered in the user's dashboard. And then feature requests. There have been some feature requests from the users of this plugin. So the first one is for teachers to be able to release feedback to their students. So I haven't implemented that yet, so I'm gonna work on this when I have the time. This is also very popular for teachers to be able to export the reports to CSV or PDF. And another one is to reopen declined reviews. So sometimes I made a mistake on declining my review for Manuel. So I'd like to change it back. So I can't do it for now. So yeah. Another thing that came up is customizable rated scales. So some users want to be able to customize their scale values or scale labels. So yeah. And another one is the mixed questionnaire layout. So sometimes they want the rated question to be followed by a comment question right away. So, okay, yeah. So I'm not yet sure if I want to implement the last two ones because I created the plugin to be a simple 360-degree feedback plugin tool. And doing so might add complexity, and I'm not sure how to best address that for now. So I'm gonna think about it. So some links. If you want this installed in your Moodle instance, you can ask your admin to go to the Moodle plugins DB and download it. It's at moodle.org/plugins/mod360. In GitHub, if it also has a GitHub repository, you can fork this or provide patches, or if you find a bug, feel free to report or feel free to raise an issue for improvement. But it would be best if you could also contribute a patch. So that's all for now. Any questions?